Patrick.
And I'm Teo Torres. Let's go to meteorologist Tamara Berg. It's Monday, and we are starting a new work week, Tamara.
We are, yeah, and it is going to be on the bright side, but also come with the breeze. You'll see right now as we look at the Tower Bridge from the Exchange Hotel Skycam, bright sun hitting one of the pylons out there. But you also will notice if you look at some of the trees, they get that sway to it, as well as any flag. That's always a good visual of those stronger, gustier winds in parts of town. Right now, sustained winds up and down the valley floor are kind of in that range of anywhere from about 5 up to 14 miles an hour in Yuba City currently. Winds out of the south at 9, top of the 6 o'clock over for Fairfield. Winds are south at 10 in Auburn and 10 to 13. Some stronger winds filing through areas like Truckee and Tahoe. The wind gusts, of course, these have been in the last 30 minutes. We've had gusts up and over 15 in Auburn, winds gusting over 20 in Truckee, up to 23 miles an hour. That's going to lead to a cooler start to the day. We have most areas in the mountains, mid-40s. You get to the Placerville area where it's 43 degrees. There's not much in the way of wind. Up to 48 this morning in Auburn. Grab the layers in Fairfield at 50, and look at that, Modesto sliding down into the upper 40s. That's quite a contrast from 24 hours ago. Pretty much everyone feeling the impact of that breeze and those clear skies. You're a 14-degree drop there in Modesto. As we move forward, it is going to be, again, a bright but breezy day, and that's going to lead to temperatures below average. I'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Deirdre and Teo, back to you.
All right, thank you. It's 6:02 now. The wind causing some issues for area firefighters. This morning, a fire broke out at Connie Drive at Roseville Road. This is in North Sacramento. The video shows you the fire crews there putting out those hot spots. Fire crews managed to get a hold on that fire in less than an hour. The cause of the fire at this point is not known. No injuries are reported so far. Dry, windy weather has kept the fire crews busy over the last 24 hours. Metro fire crews saved several homes from a vegetation fire in South Sacramento. Broke out at around 2 o'clock yesterday off of Calvine at Bradshaw Roads. Air crews did come in to help, and they were able to keep it to just 3 acres. You can see just how close it was, however, to some of those houses. Cause of that fire is under investigation. Now let's go over to Erin Heff to see how traffic is looking on this Monday morning.
It's not too shabby. Those roads, they are pretty clear. We do have some accidents, so this is a hit and run, no injuries to speak of, but it could be causing a little bit of congestion, and then that's at Tiber Drive headed northbound near Vancouver Drive. Now, if we take a look down in the Stockton area, Stockton looking pretty great this morning. That's a live look at I-5 right there where it crosses to March Lane. Absolutely free and clear. I pass through this often, and there's not a lot going on down there. There is one accident to speak of. Oop, and it just popped off the map, so check that out. Everything's looking great. If we press it on over to the Bay is looking fantastic. When do we ever say that on a Monday morning? Tracy Triangle's looking free and clear. Our drive times to San Francisco right now, all in the yellow. That's pretty unheard of at this hour. The longest drive time, 25 minutes, 2:05 to 6:80. And Sacramento, take a look at your screen right now. Your worst drive time is 10 minutes. That's the best news. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Happening today, the president and one of the leading Republican challengers will be in Northern California today.
While President Biden's going to be in the Bay Area, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is actually in Sacramento this morning for a fundraising breakfast. Mike Cherry is joining us now with details on both of those appearances.
Yeah, so let's start with a visit by Governor DeSantis. This all comes just 2 weeks after he sent 2 planes with migrants to Sacramento, then got into a war of words with Governor Newsom. This morning, he's making his first trip here as a presidential candidate. Now on Saturday, DeSantis and his family were in Gardnerville, Nevada, the Silver State, one of the key battleground states and a place where all presidential candidates end up making some frequent stops. He warned about what he claims the Democratic Party would do if it won the presidency and both houses of Congress in 2024.
Leftist government is destroying cities all over our country. It's destroying other states. And I think what we're going to see in this election coming up is America's got to make a decision, because we need to restore sanity in this country.
Now, DeSantis and his wife Casey and their son also attended a rodeo with former Nevada Attorney General Adam Laxalt. So here's what's happening today in Sacramento. DeSantis will be attending a roundtable breakfast. It's a private fundraising event at 8:30 held by GOP donor and real estate developer Steve Eggert and his wife Pam. Tickets start at $3,300 per person. Neither Eggert nor DeSantis' campaign have responded to our requests for comment. Meanwhile, President Biden will be in the South Bay today. He'll be attending a fundraiser in the Bay Area 4 of them, but he'll start with a trip to the Lucy Evans Baylands Nature Interpretive Center and Preserve in Palo Alto. Now, while there, he plans to announce over $600 million in climate investments to help coastal communities around the country. This will include projects to fight rising sea levels, storm surge, as well as tidal hurricanes. Meanwhile, the 4 fundraisers are part of 20 that the President, First Lady, Vice President, and Second Gentleman will be attending over the final 2 weeks of June. Teo.
All right, thank you. Well, happening today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with China's president, wrapping up a 2-day high-stakes visit to Beijing. It was all in an effort to ease tension between the two countries. U.S. officials say it is a key success to the trip, as a snub by China's leader would have been a major setback. Blinken's visit had been on hold for several months. Previously scheduled trip to China was actually canceled last February. That's after the U.S. shot down a suspected Chinese balloon over U.S. airspace. You remember that. It was expected that the balloon would be discussed today, as well as tariffs, export bans, Taiwan, and other key topics.
If we want to make sure, as we do, that the competition that we have with China doesn't veer into conflict, the place you start is with communicating.
Blinken's trip to China was the first by a U.S. secretary in 5 years, and just crossing on the Associated Press wires, the U.S. and China have now pledged to stabilize their badly deteriorated ties during this critical visit. So that's the information they are now releasing this morning.
Well, new this morning, at least 6 people got injured in a shooting that happened near Pier 39 in San Francisco. This happened just before 7 last night. Police responded to reports of a shooting near Beach and Stockton Streets. It's right across from the Embarcadero and the pier. 2 people were shot. 1 of them has life-threatening wounds. 3 others were injured by shards of glass. And a girl was hit by a car as she was walking a bicycle across the street after those shots were fired. Police believe that the shooting involved 2 cars. 1 of them crashed, and at this point, they're trying to find the other one.
A Sacramento area doctor under arrest, accused of sexually assaulting one of his employees. And now the sheriff's office is looking for more potential victims. Officials say they got a report about a sexual assault on April 26th at the River Point Post-Acute Care Facility. That's on Fair Oaks Boulevard. The victim accused her boss, Dr. Rashandeep Singh, of touching her sexually against her will. Singh is the facility's medical director, and detectives learned he oversaw at least 2 other facilities in the San Joaquin County area. After investigation, the Sacramento County DA's office filed felony sexual battery charges against Singh and issued a warrant for his arrest. San Francisco police found him Saturday at SFO. He was booked in the San Mateo County Jail but was released on bail. He's scheduled to be in court in Sacramento August 17th.
Well, sideshows, speeding, street racing, and reckless driving all are going to be the focus of a town hall meeting that is scheduled for tonight.
This town hall comes as city leaders continue to respond to this ongoing issue. Mike DeSalle's live in the Natomas area with more on when and where this town hall will take place. Mike?
And Terry, I've got a visual to answer that question. I'll step right out of the way because we are right outside the North Lake Residence Club off of Elkhorn, and this is where this latest town hall will begin at 6 o'clock tonight. And even driving to this location, we saw the street marks of donuts just around the corner. Here is why they're having this town hall tonight. Sacramento city leaders and police say sideshows continue to be an ongoing concern and issue throughout the city. Sideshows are events where, in some cases, hundreds of cars converge to spin donuts before a crowd of people. Now, last week, the mayor pro tem and vice mayor held a town hall on this issue in the south area of Sacramento. And tonight, Councilwoman Lisa Kaplan will be hosting a town hall here in the northern part of the city. Recently, Sacramento City Council voted unanimously to add the Delta Shores shopping area to a list of private parking areas where police can now enforce and ticket sideshows on private property. Adding to concern here is that some of these sideshows in recent history here in Sacramento have led to shootings, police getting hit, and in one case, a local family reportedly being attacked when driving past a sideshow. Now back out here live again, this latest town hall set for 6 o'clock tonight here inside the North Lake Residence Club. But this is not just an issue here in Sacramento. We've covered this issue in Stockton, and just before the weekend on Friday down in Long Beach, a woman accused of causing an accident during a sideshow that killed another woman. Again, this town hall beginning at 6 o'clock tonight here in the Natomas area of Sacramento. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. Organizers are encouraging anybody interested in sharing their thoughts or ideas on this issue to attend this evening's town hall meeting.
Well, 2 of California's national parks are going to have some new fire restrictions this week. Officials say that the Sequoia and King Canyon National Parks are going to be in Stage 2 restrictions starting on Wednesday. Stage 2 restrictions mean that campfires and charcoal fires are not allowed due to the hot, dry conditions in the parks. The restrictions apply to the campgrounds and the picnic areas, which you see there on the screen. So also included in those restrictions, any areas below 6,000 feet.
Starting today, a few pedestrian bridges over Highway 99 will have to be shut down. Caltrans says it's starting safety improvements to 4 bridges, including a new lighting and fencing. This is mainly in the South Sacramento area. 2 of the bridges will be closed today through the end of July. The pedestrian bridges at 8th Avenue and 27th will be closed. Free on-call accessible transportation for pedestrians will be available each day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. between bridge entrances. You can call the number on your screen, 916-361-5466, to arrange it.